Nearly 20 years since the robot uprising, in which all AIs designed by inventor Dr. Regan Earle went rogue and started to take over the world. Or at least, that's what everyone thought until a year later, when Earle himself sent out a message. A message that stated his creations would shut down if he were killed. He even went so far as to place a beacon on top of his buildings that broadcasted his location. The humans fought against the machines for decades in a futile attempt to destroy the tower. Until one day. "Impossible," I murmured with a small smile on my face. I looked at a screen in front of me that displayed the lobby of the building. A group of people had just blasted the doors in and were quickly destroying all the security bots in the lobby. The drones were obviously responding slower to the threat than usual. That suggested someone was interfering with their systems. I scanned all the people in the assault and caught sight of a woman in the back. She had a hood on, but one of the blasts had thrown it off enough for me to catch a glimpse of her face. She was Z2, the most advanced and supposedly incomplete android I had ever attempted to build. In fact, she was still missing an arm, and her silvery hair and skin looked inhumanly pale. Next to the others, her unusual nature stood out even more. She seemed to miss the human image by just a little bit. The woman next to her was talking, though I couldn't tell whether she was giving instructions or whatever. I don't know how it happened, but I was glad my plan had worked, if just a few months ahead of schedule. I leaned back and watched as they made their way to me. "Finally," I almost whispered as I gave the first real smile in a very long time. The room shook more the closer the party came to my office, or more accurately, my cell. I noticed that my security node seemed to be slowing down, some even going offline altogether as the intruders got closer. But I did nothing to prevent them from proceeding. About half an hour later, the doors were thrown in, and the group of people stepped in, all their guns and weapons pointed at me. "Regan Earle, it's time to answer for your crimes," one of the men yelled at me. "It's Dr. Earle, but I'll let it slide." I waved my hand at the offense. "Now, before I answer for my crimes," I made air quotes, "as you put it, may I know the name of the one who finished my little project there?" I asked, then gestured toward Z2. A woman, probably in her early 20s, stepped forward. "I did, you monster. I couldn't stand the thought of you creating yet another weapon, but I'm glad it's being used against you," she practically screamed at me.